All right, so we're joined by UC Santa Barbara women's head coach Paul Stumpf and student athlete Maddie Buckley following a thrilling victory in the 2025 Big West semifinal round. So, coach, pretty intense match out there. Once again, if you can, please provide us with the opening statement about that back and forth affair.
Sure. Well, if anybody had any question as to why Northridge won the conference, you found out exactly. Well, we found out exactly why tonight. Pretty resilient. We went up relatively early, and then some teams have a tendency maybe to have a little bit of a dip in energy, and I kind of felt like Northridge had the exact opposite. So, a lot of credit for the character of that program and the leadership and the coaching staff, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I think I have mixed feelings about our performance a little bit. It was 100% very gritty defensively because it had to be. And I think I played into it a little bit. I don't think we built out of the back as much as we normally do, and I don't think I did a good job of encouraging our players to do it. So we changed stylistically a little bit, and it didn't suit us very well. And so we were required to really do a lot more defending than we had hoped to when we were driving down on the bus. But the final part of the answer is a gritty performance again by us, gutted, with a minute and a half to go, giving up a penalty kick, and then we had to kind of regroup with, to play overtime. And then, my goodness, 3 saves by our keeper and a penalty kick shootout. That's a big number. So overall, I'm just very happy that we are advancing, and we're going to go back to Santa Barbara and gather ourselves physically and emotionally a little bit. We're going to eat some Mexican food on the way home.
Hopefully we don't get sick.
Hopefully we don't get sick, and we're gonna get back down here on Sunday and see if we can put on one more big performance.
For sure. So, Maddie, quick question for you. So, another stellar performance in net. 8 regular season shutouts. You had a shutout versus UC Irvine. Obviously, you let up a pretty late goal, but really redeemed yourself with the penalty kick stop. So, kind of just talk about the resiliency that you showed in this match, and kind of just how Coach said, how you regrouped, regathered, and came away with the W at the end.
Yeah, I think something I've experienced with this team that I haven't experienced with all of my teams is just our team camaraderie and how close we all are. And we have a motto that's playing for each other. And I think it really came out tonight. And really all that I do is so that I can play for my teammates, especially my back line, and do whatever I can so that we get the result that we're all proud of. And as long as we leave the game, proud of how we played, that's really all you can ask for. So really all I'm thinking is how I can benefit my team in the best way. And so I'm glad that I was able to do that today.
Definitely, we love it. Thank you, Maddie. So, a little bit of a preview into the championship final. So, you guys get Cal Poly once again. Blue and green rivalry renewed. You guys played them in Santa Barbara, I believe. Defeated them first conference match of the season. Obviously, a lot has changed between now and then. So, if both of you can, please provide us with just a little bit of a preview for the championship final.
You go first.
Okay. I think going into it, we're all going to be really excited. The rivalry, none of us have ever played the rivalry game in the finals, so I think we're just going to go into it with a lot of energy, and I think we showed a lot of energy throughout postseason, and that's something that we struggle with, and I know that we just won't for this game. And I know whatever the result is, it's going to be a tough game, but I think we're all excited for it.
Yeah, my thoughts are championships are very hard to come by. I think both teams will be feeling pretty good about the fact that they're right where they want to be, right where they were hoping to be at the end of the year, and so I have a feeling it's going to be a pretty typical, intense local derby rivalry with 2 very talented teams, and I'm hoping we come out on top. I'm just hoping that we bump up against our potential, whatever that is, and I'll feel good about that. If we can play as close to our potential, I'll be okay.
For sure. So kind of touching on that a little bit. So this is your second straight appearance in the Big West Final. So do you guys take anything from that previous run? Is this a whole new team, different mentality? So kind of just talk us through that a little bit, if you don't mind, please.
I would not say it's a whole new team, but we have certainly added some pieces for sure. So I think having the experience will certainly help us. But I've also found over 27 years of coaching, every game is 100% its own entity. And finding a way to get out of the gates and try to gain some momentum, try to build some confidence in you know, trying to match your playing style that you have up on the board with what actually happens in the game. And so hopefully that will happen, and it's a long game in many senses and also very short. And so we're going to hopefully gain some momentum and some confidence, and then see how long we can kind of hold on to that our style of play, which is really what we are committed to.
I think a lot of us have come to really love the pressure, and I think that I noticed that last year. And so I really have no worries. I think that we're really going to embrace the pressure, and I'm excited to see how we play.
I think that's a great attitude.
For sure. All right, appreciate it, guys.
Thank you.
So sorry.
Sure.
You guys, my name's Henrik Caceres. Thank you for your time. Also, Coach, congratulations on a great win.
Thank you.
High pressure situation. I like that Ms. Buckley actually mentioned pressure, because there's a lot of pressure as a keeper right there. Being in an away crowd, in an away crowd, of course, everyone screaming your ear off. How did you handle that when you saw those penalties coming at you, and you saved 2? I believe it was 2 of the 5 or 3. 3 of the 5. Impressive statistic. Like, how did you deal with that pressure?
I mean, honestly, I don't really have many thoughts. I don't know. I just have always loved pressure. So yeah, the thoughts just kind of left my mind. And then again, like I mentioned earlier, I was really just trying to do everything that I could to, you know, benefit the team. And I was really thinking about them, and especially our seniors in that moment, and how I could, you know, go out swinging. So that was that.
That's a great quality, by the way. Not everybody embraces the pressure, and if we can get more people like that, we will certainly be better off. So I think that's a great quality, and I've seen it as well.
And Coach, I have one more question for you. You mentioned that you think that you may not have been there to encourage your players that much, but I may have seen a different aspect. I saw a team that was fully motivated. I saw that you were there for them, and they knew that you were there for them. And I wanted to ask, how are you going to implement the same thing for this coming final?
That's a great question. And first of all, what I was there to encourage them. I was there supporting them, and they were working hard without a doubt. But we kind of went away a little bit from our style, which is we want to build out of the back. And what I'm saying is I didn't encourage them enough to be brave and try to do it. So I think I was playing a little bit nervy, and it's natural when you get a lead like that against a team that's going to chase and press and put you under pressure, and it's a little bit risky. I think I didn't do a good job of continuing to ask our girls to do that, and that's maybe it's a life lesson, or it's a lesson for me.
And I think in part that's also partly my fault and our back lines for not noticing it. Maybe it wasn't working as well going along. We're experienced, and we can work our way out of it. So
Yeah,
we should have noticed as well.
We didn't handle the long ball as well as Northridge did. They clearly managed it better than we did. Like, they got onto so many extra balls. They were chasing and pressing and winning head balls, and it just doesn't. It's not something we do a lot. It's not something we do particularly well. So again, that was where I feel like I fell short a little tonight. Look. We know what we know. We got the result that we wanted, and this is a results-based environment for sure. I'm just wondering if maybe we could have controlled the ball a little bit more had I been a little bit braver. I just don't. We know what we know.
We'll find out next game.
Yeah.
We'll find out next game. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you.